Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hey, good, good.
Good. Wow, look at that
Yeah,
setup. All those.
yeah,
That is an award or two.
yeah. I say that. Yeah.
First of all, thanks so much for joining me tonight. It's kind of the afternoon here in Brisbane. It's the middle of the night for you, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. About 12:40.
12:40, yeah, yeah. Nice, man.
Yeah,
So it's Friday night for you. Thank you for giving up your Friday night.
all good.
All good.
Yeah,
You're calling in from Portland, correct?
yeah.
Beautiful, man. Actually, I thought I would celebrate the fine state of Oregon by
Oh
drinking
yeah, there you
with
go.
Rogue for you there, my man. Very tasty.
Nice.
Cool. So I think the first question to ask you, well, actually, before we ask any questions, we'll get a little bit of backstory on who you are and why you're, I suppose, such a notable figure in the pinball world. You're quite young, correct?
Yeah, I'm 18 now.
18. Nice, man.
Yeah.
But you are one of the best pinballers in the scene today. You're top five, correct?
I think I'm seventh right now.
You're seventh right now.
Yeah,
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 very impressive for an
yeah.
18-year-old. How long have you been playing pinball for?
Pretty much my whole life.
Yep.
I grew up with a couple games in the house, and then my dad took me to arcades pretty early on, and I got hooked and just really liked it and kept wanting to learn more and just it became my passion.
Cool. Cool, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So, do you own any of your own machines?
yeah. The last tournament I went to before the whole pandemic, it was the national championships, and I won the U.S. national championships, and I won my first game, which was really cool.
The US National Championships.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very impressive, man. Would that be on par here in Australia? We have the ACS, the Australian Championship Series. That is the top of Australia. That's you. That's your version of it.
Pretty much, yeah. Each state has its own tournament
Mhm.
um, in the beginning of the year, and then the winners of all those states compete a couple months later to see who's the king of all the states, basically. So yeah, that was really a great tournament for me.
Cool, man. That's pretty much how we run things here in Australia as well. We have each state's championship, and then those people go off and they play in the Australian Championship. So that was the last one, obviously, that was run in America before
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic hit. Does that mean that you're in a certain light the best in America? Would that put you at number one?
Yeah, well, at least for the 2019 2020 sort of season, right?
You're the
So I
champ
think for the U.S.
block.
Yeah, for the U.S. ranking though, I think I'm either like fourth or fifth. But yeah, I mean, it feels pretty good to be like number one, right? Number one in the because of that tournament. But I still got a ways to go to actually reach the number one spot. So
So, for those who don't know, there is, I guess, an official ranking system for the pinball community. That's the IFPA ranking system. For some people, it's a little bit confusing on how the points are scored, but essentially, you beat better people, you earn more points, and that's something that stays with you for, I think, 3 years. It's the last 3 years of competitions that you've played in. That's correct.
yeah, it's 3 years, but then every year that tournament point value decays a little bit.
Yes.
So you can't hang on to that large point total for 3 years.
I
Yeah.
think I think I've actually risen a couple of spots while this pandemic has been going on, and obviously there's not a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot of pinball competitions happening. And for a little while, I was very confused as to why I'm still going up in points, and then I realized that I'm actually other people who are above me are losing points from
Right.
they did
Right.
a while ago. Do you think there's how do you think the response from IFPA has been throughout this competition? I think, from what I know, they've stopped accepting a lot of submissions for points. Do you think they should be putting a freeze on some of the points?
it's tough, right? They can't really. It's a double-edged sword. No matter what they do, there's going to be people that don't like it. I think what they did was fair, where they just stopped uh, sanctioning tournaments. So there's no more tournaments right now that will count towards IFPA rankings.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's fair because there are some countries
yeah,
that perhaps are on lower cases and might be able to reopen their pinball parlors and start having competitions. But it's not fair to another country who isn't at that state yet. And people over here can be earning points while people over here still aren't earning points. And yeah, I think it would be a little bit unfair. So yeah,
yeah. I think, like I said, I think they made the right decision. We'll see how they bring it back. Pinball is probably one of the worst sort of pandemic sports. Lots of interaction, lots of contacts, right? Not really what you want. But I think they're doing a good job, and I think pinball companies like Stern and Jersey Jack are getting games out there and sort of promoting locations that are open and sort of encouraging players to sort of keep being in the loop.
there have been a few machines that have come out, some pretty big name machines that have come out during this pandemic. We have Stranger Things came out pretty much at the start of all these goings on. We have TMNT is close to coming out, has come out. I know Jack Danger's got his version. We got a couple others, I think, maybe Elvira. Still no. Actually, there is some word on the Rick and Morty. I think some people have received information about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe I asked before. You own some machines?
Yeah. We have some games at home. Not a huge collection, but just fair amount. But yeah, it's a great hobby, and it's good to have a great a super close place to go keep warm.
Wicked, man. What machines do you have?
It's a good mix of some of the more modern stuff. Got the new Jurassic Park. Actually, I won that one from the national championship.
Well, you won the machine for winning the national championships?
Yeah, the national championship prize was a machine. So yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've a couple older games, Evil Knievel and Joker Poker, good classic games, and then Attack from Mars and Shadow.
Great machine.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your high score on there?
On which one?
Attack from Mars.
63 billion.
63. Oh man, I was gonna brag. I got 32 the other day.
Yeah.
63. That's huge.
Yeah.
I guess that's why you're number 7, man.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Do you have access to local pinball bars in Portland? Are they all 21 and over, or are there some really nice spots that you like to check out?
Yeah, well, so Portland's huge for pinball. It's one of the fastest growing cities, I think, for pinball, and in the U.S., it's one of the best pinball places. Like, there's the most machines in the city compared to other cities. But yeah, there are a lot of bars which I can't play in, unfortunately. But there are a couple of great arcades that are kid friendly, and have had some of my best tournament moments at, and some weekends just sort of spending time there and learning new games. And but yeah, there's definitely a few good spots.
Nice, man. That's really cool. So being playing for a long time, having access to your own machines, do you have a kind of training regime? Is there something that you do that you think might be unique to yourself?
I wouldn't say so. I just play to kind of get through the game, trying different strategies. I'm not always going for the same objectives every game. I'm trying different routines, like do X first instead of Y, or try to combine different things. But I just play the game, and I practice different control skills, different defensive skills like nudging, and but nothing unique, no.
So you've been playing for a very long time. Obviously, it's been paying off. Where do you see yourself going in the pinball community? Is it just more competitions, more winning, or do you have a plan?
Yeah. So I mean, that last tournament I played in with the whole national championship thing was great. That was definitely one of my crowning achievements, I'd say. And I definitely want to win like a world championship or a couple of the other bigger tournaments. But I may want to work in like the pinball industry, maybe design a game, or like Keith Elwin is a great player, and he designed two of Stern's greatest games, right? And I think we're going to see a lot more of that pretty soon. And I know I definitely have some interest in that field.
That's amazing, man. So would you say Keith would he be your favorite designer?
I don't know. I mean, he has two games, but they're both so good. I like his style a lot.
So can you just let everyone know what his two notable games are?
Yeah, Iron Maiden and Jurassic Park.
Both amazing.
Which they're both stellar, and they're both very different. And I really like his style of how he lays out his games. There's a lot of shots, a lot of speed. So yeah, I really like his designs, but I like designs from all sorts of companies and designers. So
that's cool, man. That's really cool. That you want to be designing pinball machines. Really, like I think you might be. You're the first person I've interviewed, but I think there won't be many people who have that answer. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like 100% on that, right? But I think it could be a very, it's definitely something I'm into, right? And I'm going to be studying mechanical engineering, so that's kind of the right tool for the job. So
nice, man. We'll get to BPAC pretty soon, but Steve Ritchie was there, who is himself a game designer, and you had Bowen Cairns was there, who does a lot of the rule sets for a lot of games. Did you manage to have a good chat with either of those guys?
Yeah, I had a good chat with Steve. I've seen him talk at a couple shows before, but never had a one-on-one conversation. And yeah, he's a really funny guy. He's just a really chill dude. And I respect that, right? Like,
yeah.
I know he thinks he's like, a very good designer and stuff, but he's definitely just a very nice person to be around with.
He is. He was phenomenal. I actually didn't really get much of a conversation with him. Hopefully I get to talk to him soon, but he was just walking around just like giving thumbs up to everyone. Like it didn't matter if he knew you or whatever. He was just super nice and just super relatable. And he sort of walked past, you're like, it's Shogun.
Yeah. Well, and same thing with Bowen. Bowen obviously played in a lot of the tournaments there in Australia, but he's a really smart guy. He knows the rules really well. And I think I didn't get a great chance to talk with him like about his work with Spooky, but I know that what he's doing is really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, so we'll talk about BPAC now. Obviously, you came into BPAC. I think there were a lot of people in Australia, in Brisbane, a lot of people who attend a BPAC, myself included, who had never heard of you. I don't really follow a whole lot of the IFPA. I love pinball. I love getting along and having these great games and being part of the community, but I don't really like follow the top 10 or anything like that because like it's just out of my league. So to see you were 17 last year when BPAC was on, very young kid. Obviously the American scene is out of this world compared to what we've got in Australia. Obviously we have some good players in Australia, but just like the average of America is way higher than what we've got in Australia. And you blew us out of the water. It was almost like by the 10th day, I think some people wanted to like wring your neck. You were amazing, man.
Yeah.
Did you get a sense that people didn't like you, I think, by the end of that, or was it a nice environment for you?
No, that's the weird thing. It's like everyone there was so nice. And like, I think in the last tournament, that last Flip Frenzy, everyone was just, super just like super happy that like other people were there, and like everyone the entire week was just really gracious and just a really good sport about everything. And it was, they made it like much better time.
Yeah, awesome, man. I'm so glad you had a good time. Like I'm very glad no one gave you the third degree or anything for just being a wizard on machines. But do you find like playing in the States that what I said, that competition level is a bit higher?
It depends where you are, right? There's like definitely some areas of the country that some of the better players are located. Chicago, where you got the Sharps and some of the highest players there. California has a lot of good players, but really everywhere you go now, there's going to be a bunch of good players because people are really, getting more into it and learning the rules and stuff. And but I don't know. I mean, there's definitely. I wouldn't say I don't know if the average American is better than like the average Australian. I think they're pretty similar, but
I guess there's probably a lot more numbers coming out of the States, so the average might actually drop down. But from what I see, it seems to be huge.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of U.S. players, right? And if you look at the top 25, it's like, I don't know, 70-80% U.S. players. So that definitely tells you something, I guess.
Okay, one thing I think we maybe should address the elephant in the room. We briefly mentioned it already, but everything's pretty much shut down at the moment, the pinball scene for COVID. The reason that we're doing these videos is because BPAC, which obviously is the Australian Kong-Off and the Brisbane Pinball Masters, which is what we're talking about at the moment, is cancelled. And it should have been happening pretty much now. I don't know when this video is going to be coming out, but this is around the time that it should have been happening. Obviously, it's not going on. How have you found your COVID experience?
Man, in the U.S., it's been tough. Obviously, we're the leading country in cases, and it's not going down. And but my experience has been not bad, right? Compared to a lot of other people, it's been pretty chill. The rest of my school year was canceled of high school, and so I got out in mid-March and pretty much been at home or around home for the last 4 months, I guess. But I found things to do and things to keep me busy, and but just sort of reflecting and enjoying this time off.
So you do own a couple machines. You still have access to pinball. You're not getting rusty, are you?
No.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Really haven't had a chance next year. That's cool, man. Now the other elephant in the room is being in Portland. That is a very heated city right now. Have you experienced anything personally? With obviously, I think it's day 58 as of this recording. Friday night was day 58 of protests for the Black Lives Matter movement. Have you been exposed to a lot of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the news all the time. I stay out of the whole city protests and stuff just because
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous, right? Yeah, like the whole, the feds are here spraying everyone with tear gas, and it's not a good situation. But yeah, it's weird because Portland has never really been on the national news much, or I guess international if you guys know about it. But yeah, it's a whole weird situation, right? I don't know, but I think it's a movement that needs to happen, but it's unfortunate that it's still being looked down upon sometimes.
Yeah. No, of course, man. And yeah, like by all means, it's super dangerous out there. So yeah, make sure that you are always safe, whatever you're doing there, man. Yeah, it's one of those things like we're talking about pinball being like, oh, it's a shame the pinball's stopped, but I think there's bigger fish to fry at the moment. And hopefully, yeah, we can all get together and next year, hopefully you'll be able to travel this way, and you'll be 19. You were 17 when you were here last, so hopefully we can have a beer together. That might be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Now, right at the start of the video, I was looking at some of these things behind you there, man. Can you run us through what you got going on there, all those trophies?
Man, yeah. I guess sort of like up here is all the Australia stuff from last year. So I got like 6 or 7 trophies from that, and then directly behind me is the whole North American champion trophy. It's probably my favorite one. And then yeah, just a ton of other stuff from previous tournaments over the last 5 or 6 years, I guess. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much out of room now, but it's great. I'm proud of what I've done.
This is my trophy.
That's
place
cool.
at Brisbane Pinball Club, man. That's what I got. Man, you're showing me up. This is rough. I gotta keep practicing.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember, I think my first trophy was like in 2014, and I was super thrilled, right? And then um, it just kept growing and growing, and um, yeah,
So sorry, you said the first trophy that you won was 2014.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very
It
bad at
was
math. That makes you 12, correct?
yeah, I was 12 years old.
12
Yeah,
years old. And what was that? What was that competition?
it was like it's like a fundraiser for Pinball Outreach Project.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, yeah. So that was my first win, and then I think I started playing tournaments in like 2013, 2014. So that was like my fifth or sixth tournament. So that was yeah, that was definitely pretty cool.
Cool, man. I think it took me about 2 years to earn that trophy. So well done.
Yeah, thanks.
um, Now, is your family plays pinball? Obviously, you were allowed to come to Australia when you're 17 years old and play in a
Hmm.
competition that's full of adults, 18-year-olds, lots of drinking happening around there. That's part of our culture. But your parents fully support you in I guess it's a dream or a passion.
Yeah, yeah. It's really great. They enjoy playing too. More on the fun side, but they do play in tournaments. But they kind of know um, that they're there more for how I'll progress over the tournament. But yeah, they do enjoy it, and I'm glad they enjoy it. They're not just there watching; they're playing as well, which is that's a cool family thing.
Yeah, nice. And what about your mates, your friends? Do you have like a lot of friends that you grew up with who you've brought into the pinball scene, or is this kind of like a thing that you do that maybe, especially the younger kids? I think pinball is a little bit of an older person's game. It shouldn't be. It should be for absolutely everybody. But yeah, do you ever get the sense that some people think it's like a weird thing? Like, why don't you just play in NFL or something like that?
Right? Yeah, it's yeah. No, none of my friends are into it or play it. So it is a niche thing, and I get that. But like a few years ago, I think in 2015 and 2016, I helped run a summer camp here in Portland for younger kids,
Nice.
and that was a lot of fun. Just sort of like exposing them to the game, and they liked it. So, but I am seeing like more kids pop up just all over the world that are playing, and like you see more state winners every year that are younger, and it's like that's really cool to see.
Do you think there's a reason we're seeing younger players? I think pinball is growing as a sport, but I think like the one for me was Deadpool. I remember when Deadpool came out, there's all these kids, it coincided with the movie, and maybe some kids shouldn't have seen the movie, but they know the comic book, and they got real excited when they could see a Deadpool at Netherworld or at a bar or something. Do you think there's anything in particular that's attributed to that, or is it just the game?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's just more games out there and more access maybe. I think theme is definitely helpful. So yeah, like I said, like you said, Deadpool is a good game that pretty much all generations can relate to, especially the younger generation. And um, you know, the new Turtles game just came out. I think a lot of people, um, maybe I don't know, maybe not my generation, but younger people everyone knows what Turtles is, right? So I think just more access, more knowledge of what pinball is, and especially kids that have parents that are into pinball. Maybe they go to the arcades too sometimes, or they have games at home, and they want to get good because they see that there are tournaments and they want to compete. So I think I don't know, everything's just growing, right? Which is really great.
Going back just a little bit with your friends, have you've taken some friends to some pinball bars or arcades or something, and have they ever like watched you play and just like gone, nah, I'm out, I'm not going to do that?
Uh, Not really. No, I mean, like my friends know that I play, and it's like, oh, that's cool, but it's not like
Do
they
they
want
know
to
how
go to
good you are?
an arcade. What was that?
Do they know how good you are?
Yeah, I mean, my close friends do, and I've, you know, I don't know, I've kind of been like a little more private about it, but like since I've gotten so much higher in the rankings and stuff, it's like, yeah, I kind of won like the national championships. That's it's a talking point too, right? Like, so yeah.
All right, man, that's pretty much our time. Is there anything you wanted to say before we go away?
You know, just if there's anyone that is listening that has considered going to BPAC, I would highly recommend it. And you know, I definitely think I saw the list this year of players that were going, and it seems like there were more international players. So that was really good to see, and I think year after year is going to be a much larger tournament.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see how it goes.
Now, last thing before we go, is there anything you want to plug? Is there anywhere where people can find you online that you want to let people know about?
Yeah, I mean, I got a pinball account Instagram. It's call_call_5. I don't really post much right now because of the whole pandemic, but I'll be posting more once the scene starts up again. And I posted a few sort of highlights and stuff, and I'll see where it goes. But I'm on Facebook, and also have just a regular Instagram account. But yeah, I'm not overly big on the social media stuff, but if you want to find me there, you can.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for your time once again. And of course, stay safe out there. Stay indoors, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do all the things to stay
Yeah,
safe.
stay safe and practice social distancing, all that. And
I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of scores to settle with you.
I'm sure. Yeah, I haven't seen the Portland pinball community in a while, so I'm definitely been weird having been absent from that, but looking forward to get back into that at some point.
Yeah, man. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, dude. It was great catching up with you, and hopefully, yeah, we'll be seeing you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, man. See ya.
Bye.